Well, hello everyone and welcome. These are these monsoon images that I promised you last night. And I am in love with these cloud formations. Just look at them. Oh, I was full on hyper focus, special interest. Yeah. Wow, everybody, doing this one on the wide angle for you. Look at this amazing cloud line. Oh, wow. And then, let's come all the way around. Oh, get the road. Look at that. Seriously. It's winking. Oh my gosh, I had to listen to that back so many times. So this is one of the things I'm doing to help de-stress myself. There's just something so therapeutic about watching the clouds and watching a storm. Look at that. I just felt the earth being watered. Amazing. Another thing that I am doing for myself is to educate myself. I put out a request in the last video asking people honestly, my followers, very honestly, what can I do? If you're First Nations, if you are a person of color who's an immigrant, if you are a person of color who got brought here against their will, or came here for safety, if you're one who is generations removed from those who were brought here, slaves, yes, people, humans that were owned. Sorry, my brain is really trying to find all the words without editing this segment, so please bear with me. So I am also educating myself. I got one side of an education, right? I got the history of the colonizers. That's what I got. That's what most of us got, right? And I'm not going to disparage that. It's part of our history, right? Like, it's how the people of the time saw it, right? So the colonists of the time. Let me correct myself and say that very specifically. The colonists of the time. I need everyone's perspective. Everyone's perspective. So I'm diving into different channels because I am dyslexic. And I'm an audio, visual, tactile kind of learner. And so being able to pause, re-listen, or just listen to it once and listen to it twice, and I'm autistic and it might be 50 times, But it is what I'm doing for myself. I'm going to share below a couple of links today that are helping me, because I do hyperfixate, so there's that. And I'm going to do my best not to info dump on you what I've learned. Instead, I'm inviting you to go listen and watch for yourselves. If you would like to also broaden your education. I think it is up to us to broaden our education and to look for valid sources. So my first channel that I want to, just trying to form the sentence before I speak it. The first channel that I would like to suggest is at Ashley the Baroness on YouTube, and I'm going to put her link below. And also, and what I like, so first I'm going to tell you about her channel is expanded history of this country, not just Black history, right? So she also does cover some, she dives into legal documents that she has found, different court cases, through the Library of Congress, and then through the public library. She also finds other sources. I know she responded to a comment that because I did ask about her sources, because I was truly interested, because if they were sources I could also like go and listen to, if they come in an audio form, I would really love that. Because sometimes, I mean, one of the things I love is like a great autobiography read by the author, or someone who truly can transmit the author's voice. That really helps me. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really like her channel. She speaks compassionately to the listener without condescension. And that's a really big deal today. I think her channel is a good example of how we can speak to the truth of how things kind of happen around here, and how they happened, and how we've ended up where we are. I know there are those of you who aren't going to be too happy with me sharing this, but I think the majority of the people who follow me, I think the majority of you are compassionate human beings. And I think you want to know how to be more empathetic and well-rounded. And it's not always because we didn't choose to learn. Sometimes it's because we didn't realize there was more to learn. And I'm saying that from my own perspective. As an ADHDer, I really thought I learned all the stuff for quite a long time, because I was like told that I did. And I know that sounds so ridiculous for me to say, but if you want to understand why autism and ADHD are considered disabilities, that's one of them. That's a really big one. So I really appreciate the time and the energy that some of these creators are really giving to their channels to help broaden our education. Okay, so Ashley is one. Ashley the Baroness on the screen right here. And next is a channel called The Red Nation. Now this one is new to me. This is a First Nations channel on YouTube. So far, I have only listened to one episode, and I'm letting it soak in, and I think I'm going to re-listen to it a second time, because I like to do that. But it's about an hour, so I really have to give it time. I could speed it up, but I chose and I choose to listen to it in real time. And if you go over, you'll understand why. They're truly speaking from the heart. So the podcast that I'm listening to is called Red Power Hour, co-hosted by Melanie Yazzie and Elena Ortiz. So, yeah, I don't know where that so is. That's just kind of like a break in my thinking. So yeah. It's like saying, okay, anyway. Where was I? Melanie Yazzie and Elena Ortiz on Red Power Hour. And the reason I keep hesitating is like, because I want to put a "the" in front of it, but it doesn't belong there. The channel. is the Red Nation. And I'm looking forward to diving in on that channel and just I'm going to check their playlists and probably like focus on one thing at a time, because that's how I roll, you know. Yeah, and just listen and say thank you. And that I appreciate them sharing their knowledge, their experience, their strength, and their hope. That's what I am listening to. And that is helping me deal with the rage and anger and the feeling of betrayal. Because that's really a bottom line, right? I realized that the other day. I feel betrayed by my educators. And it's not their fault necessarily, because they also, like, it's standardized education. And this is part of the problem with some of this standardized education we don't allow for. So I was truly lucky to grow up and go to a high school where, yeah, we had to fill requirements. However, we got to choose the subjects that within that requirement that we were interested in, right? So I had 2 semesters where I really got to choose which history I wanted to take. So I took American history and world history. And then we had a course that was required for us to take called Contemporary America, which took us through, I think it was after, or no, it was World War II through the day, which was at that time for me, 1987. Or 88, one of the two. I think it was 88. Oh, man. Yeah. So I am taking my power back. That's what this is about. I felt like my power was stripped from me when I started to hear them talking about taking away women's rights. And that was just at the beginning of it, right? And my body went into fight or flight just because of the conversation. And I had not really made that connection. So there may be those of you out there that might not realize that's what's happening for you. And I hope my sharing my experience can help you. No, you're not alone. As someone who's an SA survivor and thriver, since 2006, 2015, 14, let's go back to when all of this conversation came to light. I'm doing my best not to use words that might be condescending right now. I'm doing my best to stay general. So at that time, because I don't want to trigger anybody, at that time I felt it. Oh, sorry, bug. And I'm not a Buddhist. Certain bugs, yes, but when it comes to like little teeny tiny fruit flies or mosquitoes, not in it. Okay, sorry. Digressed. Do I have to pause? I don't think so. As a thriver and someone who's chosen to consistently keep myself to the best of my ability on a path of growth and healing and openness and willingness. And I invite you to join me. Yeah, I invite you to join me. Let's learn about everybody who lives here and how they got here. I think the greatest gift we can give each other as humans is to listen to each other's life experience and lived experience. Let's not discount that any longer. It's one of the most important things we have to share. And I encourage you to do that. Hey, and I also encourage you to do your best to keep healthy boundaries. Today I'm sharing as generally as I can and keeping things in the eye as much as possible. But also, like I said, I'm just going to keep it general because those are things that are, I think the reason we are allowing ourselves to be inundated by the troll is that we are oversharing accidentally online. And I'm speaking to neurodivergence, plural, like all of us on the spectrum, and those of us with ADHD as well, especially. Like the TMI thing is a real thing, and we often put ourselves in danger when we share too much. There are safe spaces for that. So like if anybody wanted to reach out and ask specific questions because they need help, well, first, if it's life-threatening, if it's urgent, 911 peeps. Always 911. They want to help you. So that first, if it's that urgent. Otherwise, just now I had to remind myself to breathe. Take a deep breath, right? And reach out to someone whom you can trust to share your fears with and anxieties with, so they can help you process it. Because oftentimes our TMI is actually about verbal processing. I'm a verbal processor, and half the time I don't even know I'm doing it in a conversation. Oh, holy crap. But I'm so aware of that now that I have a diagnosis and I understand how my brain works. This is so important. Oh gosh, that's one of my things, and it's really hard. It's really hurting me right now. Anyway, it's so important because we need to find safe places to verbally process, safe people to verbally process with. I have a handful, and only a handful. 2 of them are professionals, and 2 of them are trusted friends. And it's because I do not want to overwhelm one person. I do not wish to take someone hostage by accident. Because that's not fair for me to do. Anyway, not trying to digress, but I really wanted to share with you some of the things that I'm going through, some of the things I'm doing to help myself. I put out that video, and really it was a call to you, but it was also a call to the universe. Show me solutions. Please show me solutions. I was begging for solutions, and I got shown them. So these are two. It's what I'm doing right this moment. I also kind of deep dive on things that are fun for me, like I love archaeology and anthropology, so the Mini Minuteman is another favorite of mine. And also I love zoologist Lindsay Nicole, because she just fun. So there's two more. And that's just earth and culture and some society woven in, right? But it's research based through science. So I am appreciative of that. And I am truly grateful for all the creators out there who are doing this. For those of us who are audiovisual learners who cannot afford to go back to college, or maybe, like me, I'm dyslexic. Yeah. So the idea of like going back to community college is like nightmare. That's meltdown thinking. I can't even focus on that, because if I do, my brain will automatically think it's about to happen and I will go into a freaking full-on meltdown, and I do not want to do that here. I love you guys, but I've done that enough on this channel before I understood what was happening to me and why my body changing, going through menopause and perimenopause and menopause has been holy, right? Like, that's where, like, I couldn't hold the mask up anymore. I was a high masking individual, which is not a healthy place to be, honestly. Like, people are like, oh, you're so high functioning. No. High functioning is just a, okay, I'm going to use the word, ableist term for someone oh gosh, I have to pause. I forgot the word I said before that. Wait, can I think about it? Will you come back? I have to look it up. High masking. Oh. It's exhausting, and what I thought were nervous breakdowns weren't nervous breakdowns. And I used to change jobs, not because I wanted to stop doing what I was doing, because I loved picture framing, but because I usually needed to take like 2 or 3 weeks off to just stare at the wall. And I didn't understand why I needed that. I mean, I remember going on vacation with my sister and her boyfriend at the time, and the one thing I kept repeating over and over again every single time they were trying to get me to do something with them, I would just say, I am on vacation. And I had a real meltdown, and I didn't know that's what was happening. Now I can look back and see that it was because my PDA was being bullied. Instead of giving me time, like saying, tomorrow, would you like to go on a hike with us? We're going to go to this place, and it's about this many miles, and it's going to take us to this kind of a place, or, just some details, some context, and a heads up. And I'll say, give me a second to think about it. Or, a little bit to think about it. Can I process what you just asked me? And usually people are like, yeah, sure. And then like, You know, sometimes it's a half hour, sometimes it's the end of the day, sometimes it's the next morning. But usually the answer is, oh my gosh, yes. I totally want to do that. Okay, so these are different ways we can communicate with each other. And I don't know, the more I am learning about how I can communicate with others and how I can help others communicate with me so that I will hear them because I want to. Sometimes the way things are phrased shuts my brain down immediately, and it's nothing I can control because my PDA just goes, I'm not listening. And so, because it recognizes abusive speech or what is abusive to it. Okay? So it might not be abusive to others, but to my brain, it is. So it shuts down. It's a defense mechanism to protect it. It's protecting my autonomy. And I love my brain for that. I love my brain for protecting me. It has been amazing. I mean, I remember when I first had my trauma came back, and I'm going to be very general, my first therapist said, right? I said, I don't understand why I couldn't remember, because I didn't understand the blackouts. Why I completely blacked out. I mean, I didn't black out the whole time of my life, but I did black out the experience. So she said to me, your brain let you remember when it was ready to heal and it could handle it. Wow, what a gift that was for her to say that to me. And my brain does protect me in a lot of ways. Sometimes they're unhealthy because I've had coping skills, right, that were super unhealthy because I didn't know how to deal and I didn't know what was happening. Now I do. And now that I'm aware, I can be open and willing to learn how to expand myself in a way that's healthy for me. So, I know this is kind of a long one. I really appreciate you sticking around to the end. If you did, wow, thanks for joining me on this healing journey and this growth journey. And I think that's where our hope lies. I think that's where our hope lies. Let's expand our knowledge in a loving way if we can, so that we can encourage growth and encourage the learning and encourage the desire to empathize and be a part of the experience with our empathy, because it is the only way for us to all truly be able to see each other and be villages and communities again. It's going to be tough. There's no easy way to do this. But if we choose to do it together, it's a shared experience. And so it is lightened. It's a lightened experience. Come with me. Oh no. Come with me and we'll see a world of pure imagination. Let's make that imagination a reality. That was my musical echolalia. Sometimes it's really a super gift. See you next time, everybody. Bye.